Hello, I'm Pastor Jane Rowe. I serve at South Church in New Britain, Connecticut, and I welcome you to join me in this Lenten meditation for a few moments. I'm doing a series of meditations, and the plan for today included the topic, "Blessed are those who mourn." Surely we all know grief in our lives, and it can be hard to understand why Jesus said, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted." Because mourning, grief, cuts so deeply in our hearts. But grief is a very familiar emotion to the Bible. We especially can find it expressed in the Psalms. Hear these couple of verses from Psalm 77. I cry aloud to God that he may hear me. In the day of my trouble, I seek the Lord. In the night, my hand is stretched out without wearying. My soul refuses to be comforted. I think of God and I moan. I meditate and my spirit faints. Indeed, the psalmist knows what it is to grieve without any sense of relief. Little did I know when I planned this topic for this day that we would again as a nation be mourning a terrible act of gun violence visited upon school children and those adults who give their lives to caring for and leading them. The shooting at the Covenant School, a small Christian school in Nashville, Tennessee, again strikes horror and grief into our hearts. And we must mourn. We must lament without relief this terrible scourge of gun violence, especially as it brings up so much trauma for so many who fear for their own children who are caused such great anxiety by this news, and those traumatized again and again who already have experienced it themselves, being re-traumatized every time such an act occurs. But it is not only these horrific acts of mass shootings that should horrify us, but the gun violence that happens every day. Just yesterday, according to the Gun Violence Archive, there were 78 incidents of gun violence across our country. 25 people were killed by guns in a single day, yesterday, March 27th, and 63 others were injured. This is a daily occurrence, this massacre, and we must grieve. When Jesus entered Jerusalem, according to the Gospel of Luke, he wept over the city and said, "If you, even you, had only recognized on this day the things that make for peace, but now they are hidden from your eyes." We long for God to open our eyes to the ways of peace, the ways of courage to stand against the scourge of gun violence and all that is behind it. The courage to protect the most vulnerable among us from this horror. Blessed are those who mourn, who lament, who will not accept this as a reality that can't be changed. Blessed are those who cry out to God for justice, for change, and who give themselves to making justice and peace a reality. If we do not mourn, if we do not allow ourselves to feel deeply the grief that Jesus also feels as he looks upon this world and its ways, then we cannot know the blessing of God's redeeming, saving presence. I share with you this blessing for collective grief by Kate Bowler and Jessica Ritchie from their book, The Lives We Actually Have. This world, impossible, unthinkable, we are brought to our knees. God, today there is no true north. And when last I checked, the sun did not rise at all. Today the innocent still suffer, buildings still fall, families still grieve. A world has ended without any reasonable fanfare. This is the way of tragedy, how it breaks in and robs us while we sleep. Help us to know what to feel, what to do, how to grieve together. Blessed are we who try to see things clearly, though the truth of it all feels unimaginable. Blessed are we who ask and wait and ask again for answers that may not come, for hope that seems hard to find, for comfort that is not easily offered. Along the way, show us how to live when we've lost the things we cannot get back. Remind us that you, O God, are our home and our refuge. When life's unthinkable fragility is too difficult to hold, take my hands. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. They shall know God taking their hands, moving through them for this world so much in need. May you be blessed today. Amen.